Good morning to all my dear students. This dictation will be start later 3 seconds. Madam, in a society dominated by men, in a country where newly wed women can decide even to do away with her potential motherhood if it is found that she will have to give birth to a female child in a country where sati is still practiced, in a place where women is still considered to be a commodity that can be exchanged for gain or given up for loss. It is unfortunate that a word against male domination is considered to be a weakness by our male friends. It is unfortunate that even today women is sought to be used by her master in the way he likes. Therefore, in a situation like this, it is quite natural that women is underprivileged. Women constitute the most unprivileged section of the society, while the Mandal Commission seeks to give protection to the unprivileged. The constitution of this commission on women gives some right to women which was not given before. Paragraph change. Let me be very frank that I do not believe that liberation of women can take place from the shackles of social inequality or genuine equality can usher in if the mankind is not liberated from the exploitative system of the society. The suggestion is still unanswered. Why a child is known by his father? Why a maiden has to change her surname after her marriage? Why a woman who loses her husband has to turn vegetarian? Therefore, the right of inequality is deep in the society itself. Therefore, I believe the setting up of the commission is one of the many steps that are necessary, and it is a long overdue step. Paragraph change. Madam, there was the National Committee set up by Mrs. Indira Gandhi, and that committee recommended the setting up of a commission after the recommendation of the committee was submitted, somebody was sitting on the file for a long time. It is true that the country is taking to this path of the setting up the commission when the government is being headed by a man. No such step was taken when the government was headed by a woman. That is how a man overtakes a woman. Madam Deputy Chairman, the statement of the Honorable Prime Minister with regard to the Constitution of the National Security Council talks of firstly the National Security Council, secondly it talks of Security Advisory Board, and thirdly it talks of strategic core group. I would request the Honorable Prime Minister to kindly make the statement more elaborate so as to remove the doubts in my mind that these three groups, these three institutions sought to be created will not be something overlapping among them. Para. The second question is with regard to the members on the National Security Council that I find is that in the statement it is said that it will include the Minister of Defense, the Finance Minister, the Home Minister, the External Affairs Minister, the other Union Ministers, and the Chief Ministers of the states will also be associated as and when necessary. The chief ministers again find their names in the Security Advisory Board. It will consist of the chief ministers, members of parliament, academicians, scientists, and other persons. So, will he kindly clarify as to how these chief ministers are to be chosen for the Security Council and then for the board and this core group to which a reference has been made? Para. The third question is it will have representatives of three services and ministries concerned. What do we mean by the ministries concerned according to the estimation of the Honorable Prime Minister? The next clarification sought is with regard to the advisory board meeting only twice a year in the matters of defense and the security of the nation. Twice a year is a rider which I think should not have been there. The Honorable Prime Minister may kindly clarify as to why twice a year in particular has been pointed out there. Para. Fourthly, he said that the purpose will be to achieve national consensus. Para, sir, I am glad that Mr. Upendra brought and piloted the bill successfully in the other house and had it passed unanimously. Para, sir, we know that the coverage of radio nowadays exceeds 97% of the population and that of the TV exceeds 75% of the population with more than 500 transmitting stations of Doordarshan and All India Radio. Stop.